We're going to mix up a sweetened condensed milk pound cake. It's collardvalleycooks, and normally she uses coconut in hers. I'm skipping the coconut. I'm just going to do it as it is. Unless I just do coconut flavoring, but we won't do the actual coconut. I got one that don't like the texture of coconut. And I'm just using some baking spray, and I don't have it. You need a 12 bundt pan, and this is a 10 cup. So I've got me an extra loaf pan out, so our run over will have somewhere to go. Now this is an 8-egg pound cake. And I've got duck eggs, which is a little bit bigger, you know, than a chicken egg. But we're going to use them. I'm just going to go ahead and do 8 anyway. We'll just have some extra egg. And you need to separate it because you're going to use your whites with this cake. And you're also going to use your yellow. What you're going to see when I'm trying to separate this is the duck egg shell is a lot more... it's thicker, and they are a little harder to break open. The whites are whiter. The yolks are almost double a chicken egg. So I'm going to do 8 that way, and I'll be back. Y'all, let me tell you, these duck eggs, the shell is thicker. The whites are super thick. It's almost super hard to separate them. Oh, y'all can't see me separating. Shoot. Darn it. Let me do that. Anyway, I probably could have used more like 6 of these because they are so big in the whites. When you can finally get the white, they're you've got to wrestle with it a lot more. See how thick that is for an egg white? Like, it's thick and it sticks. And they're slippery. See what I mean? I came back just to show y'all that because it's crazy how thick that is. There's still a decent amount. There it comes. A white in that egg. Ah! No! We do not want to bust that in there because... And I did. I gotta get that out. I do not want to go through that again. And waste another bunch of eggs. So y'all get to watch this part. And hope that I can get it out. Let me look at that. They're super thick, so it might be easier than trying to get a chicken yolk out. I do not want to have to go through all that again. Let me see in this spoon, I guess. You can see it perfectly. There's still going to be a little bit of yolk in that. I hope it don't mess me up. So I am not starting it over. I'm going to just keep fishing it out. This is for home, thank goodness. So these will just be beat up like egg whites and then folded in to the batter at the very end. I don't see any more in it. So I think we're good, and I don't think it's going to matter about the extra yolk because these are so much bigger than a chicken egg that I think we're good. So moving on. We're going to mix up a pound of butter and then 2 cups of sugar until it gets fluffy. All right, I got all 4 sticks of butter in there. Drop a cup of sugar. I got a new paddle on here with a rubber silicone thing on it. Thank you, Yvonne, for that. And she sent me a cover. I doubt that I will use that, though, in the video because then you can't really see what I'm doing. For all you that's trying to watch the actual batter. Now, I'm going to leave this until it gets nice and fluffy. So we're going to pause this so you're not sitting here 4 or 5 minutes watching a mixer. Okay, we are there. Now we're going to add our egg yolks. These are those duck egg yolks. This should be a really super rich. See how thick those are? I mean, they're thick. Just like the whites are thick. I sprayed these pans with like Pam, but I tell you, I'm tempted to go ahead and wipe them out and stroke and flour them. We'll see. I don't want to mess this up as much as the ingredients as we got. So we're going to let that beat up for a second, and then we're going to add our condensed milk. Now I'm going to add my extract. I'm going to do some vanilla. I'm deviating a bit. I'm changing the recipe just a little bit. I'm not doing the coconut. I think in the original you would have coconut flavoring and coconut. I'm going to do some vanilla. And then I was going to do some almond. The boys don't want almond. They want cake batter flavoring. So we're actually going to put a little cake batter. No, I don't think it would need it, but we'll do it. Just because they want us to. Teaspoon, that colors it a little bit. And it smells just like cake batter. And then we're going to start adding our flour. You know, I need a bigger bowl to put I got it in a sifter over here. Actually, we want our condensed milk. Want a can of sweetened condensed milk. In here. All that in there too. Let that mix up. And then we're going to start doing our flour. I'm just sifting it behind us. I believe it's just to add it like a half a cup at a time. Let me double check that. Yep. Does. We've got this down to 2. She tells you several times to make sure you have a 12-cup bundt pan to only fill it 3/4 of a way full, and that you can use a loaf pan and you'll actually have batter left over. So I only have the 10-cup bundt pan. I had a 12 one and I got rid of it because everything I put in it ended up sticking. So we'll do the 10-cup and we'll do a loaf pan also. Now once I get this mixed up, I've got to turn around and beat up the egg whites in another bowl. And then we will fold them into this batter. I've got that on this stir, low as we can go. Okay. Just scrape down the side of this real good. Just want to make sure. Make sure it's getting it real good, but it is that beater with that silicone on that helps a lot. I'm just gonna barely mix that a little more, and then we're gonna do our egg whites. Y'all, I'm adding some lemon before I quit. Because, I mean, to me, you can't beat nothing lemon. And that cake batter, it just tastes like cake batter to me. So we're going to do, which I suppose is the point. But I want a little flavor. So I'm doing the lemon. Get that mixed in there. And then we'll do our egg whites. All right, here's our whites. It says to beat them up until they hold stiff peaks. So we are going to turn that up. And I'll be back. I think that would help if I added some sugar, but it doesn't tell me to. Okay, we're there. I'd say that does it. Now we're going to take those egg whites. Hopefully I did that fast enough. I didn't get to that real quick. Put them over into here. And fold that into our batter. Yeah, I guess you should probably speed that a little along more than I did. But this is not a sponge cake. Although that kind of reminds me of a sponge cake. Putting the egg whites into the batter. And then because I think I've said that a couple of times, I don't have a 12 cup bundt pan we're going to use. But then a 10 cup and a loaf pan. You want to do it about 3/4 or so full. Now let's see. I hope I ain't messing my. I'm trying to learn how to get these angles so you can actually see what I'm doing. It's hard to do though when you're right-handed. To get out of the way of the camera. I guess I need to put the camera on the other side of the room. Now I'm going to have a loaf pan because I don't want to spill it over in the. And we'll have one in this. They're going into the oven at 325 degrees for an hour and a half. Or until, the toothpick comes out clean. So, we'll see y'all later. It's a beautiful color. Looks yummy. I'll cut a piece in just a bit. That's a wee bit better lighting. There it is cut. It's beautiful and it's delicious. See y'all next time.